This is a plain-bellied watersnake, Neurodia erythrogaster. I found it on the road and thought it was dead, so I moved it across. It was barely moving, and the little it did I thought was just because snakes can still move after they die. But I couldn't see many injuries except a bit of blood above a swollen eye and a weird lip. Everything else was completely normal. I decided to put it in a box and bring it home. If it's alive, maybe I can help it. If it's dead, I could preserve it and give it to researchers. Perfectly intact specimens are very important for research, but not common. When I got home, I wasn't sure whether it was alive or not. I was moving it to try and get a better look at its injuries, and maybe get it to move again. It was only moving when I was touching it, which is usually what happens when a snake is dead. But as I handled it, it began to flick its tongue, which was interesting and a sign of life. I contacted a herpetologist to figure out what to do next. He thought it was probably close to death. He asked what happens when I flip the snake over, so I flipped it over, and it righted itself. This is a good sign that there was a chance of recovery. He said he has seen a few snakes like this, and most often they recover by the next morning. It is most likely stunned, possibly with some brain damage, but if released into the wild, will most likely survive. I picked it up again, and this time it was moving a lot more. It was twisting its head and neck around in an unnatural way, a sign of neurological issues. But I did what the herpetologist recommended and tried to release it near where we caught it. But most of the road was private property, and the only bit I could release it on was a power line strip with only grass. I decided to bring it back to my house a little over a kilometer away. We have a small pond, lots of frogs and toads, and this species is known for traveling long distances between bodies of water, so I was hopeful. I placed it beneath a stack of boards where predators cannot reach. It squeezed really tightly around my arm, and I couldn't even unwrap it, so I let it sit for a second until it was ready to continue. It released and slowly moved onto the ground. I carefully placed the board back over it. Normally I would have already had the boards down and let the snake get under by itself so I don't risk squishing it, but this snake still wasn't moving well, so I decided to just carefully lower the boards over it. I double-checked again to make sure I wasn't squishing it before I left it alone for the night. About 20 hours later, I checked on it again and it was still under the boards. It didn't move much. I picked it up and it wrapped its tail around some leaves and twisted its neck again. Its eye was still swollen, and this time I noticed some blood inside, but the lip was normal now. It was moving a lot slower again, which was concerning. I messaged the herpetologist again to update him on the snake. It hadn't recovered well overnight, so he recommended I either euthanize it or bring it inside to keep it safe from predation until it either passes or recovers. But in his opinion, it would most likely pass. I decided to give it a chance in captivity. I'll update on how he's doing in a few days.